Hello, namaskar. It's just my second video for today, the 26th of January 2024. It's about 2:30 p.m. on Friday, and I'm talking to you. I will tell you about the Kapalik meditation that the tantriks do. People who are the tantriks, they go into the burying ground to meditate. People have various opinions. They say, "Oh, they're gonna communicate with the dead. They're gonna go into the afterlife, the death plane that is called the Pritalok or the Pitrilok, the ancestors' world or whatever." So they have their knowledge about these kind of things have been around a long time. One day I asked Dada Siddheshwaran, the former SS of South America, Georgian sector here. He said, Dada, we have right here in Guyana, South Indian people, the Madrasi. They used to go in long ago in the cemetery to meditate. He said, of course, they're tantrics. So South Indian people, they say, are naturally ingrained tantric people. Their nature is tantric. The culture lives within their soul, within their being. So I don't know, but in another mark, the avadutas, they go into the cemetery after the brahmacharis are initiated into a higher form of meditation, which only monks can do. It's called the Kapalik sadhana. After the guru, there's only a tantric master could give Kapalik meditation. But since Baba died, he left the technology or this exercise for his parodas or for his teachers to give to brahmacharis and so on. So household or married people, family people, they can't get the Kapalik meditation. They say long ago when Baba first created the family acharyas, he gave them this midnight sadhana, this dark night sadhana. When it's amavasya dark night, they go in the cemetery to meditate. And people notice when they come out back, they become very invigorated, very energetic, very strong. Like all their bitterness, troubles, all the negative feelings, sadness just disappear, just vanish. So people don't like generally when Kapaliks go into the cemetery in India. They feel that they get in power, they get demon power or whatever. But it's not like that in another mark. The Kapalik meditation is for the purpose of empowering the Acharya so that he can have more zeal to do service in the world, in the society. Now we hear that there are avadutas. Now avadutas are yogis who are detached. Their state of freedom, they have a degree of freedom. Now usually in Hinduism, they have a system of avaduta called avadutas also, like the Dattatreya's, followers of the Dattatreya, and some other classes of Hinduism, the Bhairav and Tantric sect, they have their avadutas also. But in another mark, the avadutas have to be monks. They're fully clothed in orange. Those are half orange and half white. They are brahmacharis. They are we should say cultivating the avaduta energy now, or they're transmuting their old samskaric life into higher state. When they reach that, they become avadutas. And there are avaduta samskaras that you get to, you pick up. If you look at the brahmachari, look at the avadutas, they are different, or the avadutikas in female, who are the Bhairavis in Anandamar, and the Bhairavas, they do this meditation after they get long ago. They say when the guru give you, it's very powerful, but the guru, he says that there are 4 parts. The Kapalik meditation has 4 lessons, but I think he only taught 2 or 3 or whatever. But he said the remaining he will not give because it's very difficult to find the materials to perform it. So Kapalik is a very powerful meditation, I heard, but unfortunately you have to become a monk to get it. So people say it's a beautiful meditation. Some of the monks told me that they feel very energetic, very powerful. There's one that in India, the late Saman Vyananda, he wrote the book Secrecy of Tantra. I hope they make new copies of this book. It's very rare. Now I had a copy. I don't know who I lent it to, and now I can't find it, you know. It's a very nice book. Saman Vyananda, he was doing Kapalik meditation every day. In the cemetery, he would go to do meditation. Like some of these tantrics, they live in the cemetery, they stay there. I first read about Kapalik meditation when Brother Sanjay here from Guyana. He was known as the Ananda Mark Pandit. Sanjay Prasad, also known as Satrahan Prasad. He showed me a tantric book he had, Hindu Tantra, where the Kapalikas, they meditate on a dead corpse, you know, and they would rape a virgin, meditate on the dead corpse, and they would get certain powers, you know, certain stamina qualities develop in them. But that's not so in Andamark. They don't do this kind of what is known as Vama Marga, the left hand tantra, and the right hand tantra. The Vama Marga, they use this kind of thing, you know, corpse and eating the flesh and raping virgins and this kind of thing. But in the Ananda Marg, the Kapalik that they do is simply mantras and pujas that they use, the mantras. They say there are 4 lessons in it. But one that even told me, he said some Kapalikas, some Avdutas, they can see spirit, they can see ghosts. So I don't know, they said only the Avdutas and Anman, they can see the spirit and ghosts, you know. I remember they said one daughter told me who visited Guyana, his name was Dada Snigdhananda. Though he was a second generation Acharya, he never met the Guru. He told me that those who help the teacher, the Avaduta, to do this Kapalik meditation, they will also get a benefit. So when you go with them to meditate in the cemetery, you will also get the benefit of the meditation that he's doing. I remember in the old days when the African Avaduta Jiveshananda came to Guyana, and Mark, he told me that he was the first African Avaduta, and Baba created him. He set a history. There was never ever an African Avaduta before. There have been African Swamis, African Buddhist monks, but never an African Avaduta. And Dada Jivesh was the first African Avaduta. Now we have Nirvedananda, we have Gyanananda from Africa, and all the new ones. You can go and meet them here in Brazil. A lot of new African acharyas there, dressed fully orange. They're doing this cemetery meditation when it's a dark night, amavasya. You know, they have very powerful charge, a lot of energy, you know. They can do work for society, they can open schools, they can open orphanage, they can open feeding program, wellness center, yoga centers. We ordinary family people can't do that. More we can do is give a lecture, attend a satsang, or do a radio interview or television interview, you know. But these monks, they can do a lot of work, you know, and they're very radical due to this sadhana, the Kapalik meditation. So it's a very nice sadhana, you know. I remember when Jiveshananda was working here in Guyana in the 80s, the 90s, he was taking some of the Indian people from the Chortville village. We would go with in a group at night to meditate, you know. We would go with him in a group to meditate in the night. So it's they say once you're with an avadut, you're protected. The spirits can't enter you, attack you. People say how these in Guyana here at border, these crazy people living in the cemetery, they're living in the tombs and all these things. But they're probably possessed because you can see the state of mind. Some of them are already deranged, violent, and they're their lives are messed up socially. They are not prosperous, established, and so you can say to a degree that they've been affected by their environment, by the whoever invisible people living there. So they say once you go with an avaduta, you're protected within a certain radius, diameter. If you're within that circumference, he can protect you with the vibration that he's using in his meditation. But if a Vidya tantric, a black tantra, a Vama Marga tantric, or any other tantric from any other tradition, whether if it's from Africa or from China or Mongolia. If they're in the vicinity of this Ananda Marg Tantric, they will leave. If they're doing black magic in the cemetery, black magic meditation, and the Ananda Marg Avaduta goes there to meditate, they will leave. Because the range of the vibration reaches a disturbs meditation, you know. So the Avadutas, you should respect them and should not fear them. They go into the cemetery not to communicate with the dead because they haven't got the sadhana from Baba, which he says he did not give the third and the fourth lesson. Probably only two they receive, where they get the energy when they do in that environment. They connect easy to the cosmic flow, the energy that is connecting them and giving them this life impulse, this force, this vibrating in their system, you know. They can't go into, they're not going into afterlife, they're not communicating with the dead, though they may see them and speak with them, and so it's not the purpose of the sadhana. So during the dark night is the best time, and those who help the avadutas go with them there to meditate, they will get the benefits too. I heard that our monks have been persecuted a lot in India for these night meditations, these after hours meditation, midnight sadhana. But I hope the government changes and they become more open to the Kapalik. You know, once the police see you with a puja here, a mark here, a vermilion mark, a red mark here like this, they ask you where you been at this hour of the night, what you were doing there, and they keep you at the station and all these things. But luckily in Guyana, they're not so strict here. They're not checking on these kind of things. You know, they have a little more respect for the monks and so on. And we hope that this can improve in India, you know, because the Avadutas, as we see, are doing a good work despite the meditation being done in a ghat, a burning ghat or a cemetery or so on. Namaskar.